Dakota State and South Dakota State have had some memorable matchups in the Division I era. The two teams play for a 75-pound rock called the Dakota Marker, a trophy the Bison claimed 6 straight times against their rivals. But last year, the Jacks snapped the streak with a last-second victory in Fargo, and NDSU is looking for payback.
Get your horns up! Yeah, you can hear the herd coming, baby, like it or not. We've been waiting while tailgating in the parking lot. Now that clock is ticking down, the boys are ready to go. The energy in here's electric. Let's get on with the show. Get your horns up. The green and gold are back in town. Get your horns up. Pumped up and ready to throw down. Toss that coin up in the air. Bring the boys up to the line. Hold your horns up high because it's Bison time.
Hello and welcome to Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium here in Brookings, South Dakota for a key Missouri Valley Conference football matchup here this afternoon. What a way to start off November. North Dakota State, South Dakota State in the 14th meeting for the Dakota Marker. The Bison had dominated this series in recent times, but South Dakota State getting the big victory in Fargo. And LT, you get the feeling North Dakota State would love to return the favor here today.
Well, they did return the favor, I guess, in the playoffs. But when it comes to the marker, yes, indeed. The Bison have owned it recently, and they don't like the fact that it's here in Brookings.
And for North Dakota State, I think the key certainly is for them is defensively the only FCS team holding opponents under 200 yards per game on average. South Dakota State playing really well offensively right now. 110 points in the last 2 games. It's going to be good on good here today.
I think Coach Stegelmeyer said that last week with Taryn Christian was the best game, maybe the best game that he's ever seen him play. So if that gives you any indication of the way the Jackrabbits offensively, the big three, I think it was Mark Farley that first called them the three amigos, but the big three with Goddard and Winicky and Christian, well, they're all playing well. They had their best game of the year last year, and the Bison know it.
Defensively, North Dakota State with Nick DeLuca, a different team than what South Dakota State saw last year as well.
I personally think that if DeLuca played in the regular season game, Taryn Christian wouldn't have ran nuts. He had 141 yards, I think, rushing in that particular game. And that was the first time that the Jackrabbits actually showed quarterback scramble as being the one thing NDSU wasn't ready for. Well, the Bison are ready for it now.
Maybe undervalued a little bit in this matchup is the North Dakota State offense, especially against the South Dakota State defensive front. Christian Roseboom, one of the top tacklers in the Missouri Valley, but the Jacks have not shown the ability to stop the run consistently this year.
The defensive line for the Jackrabbits has been not very physical, I guess is one way we can put it, and NDSU usually takes a big advantage of that, and the Bison know that long drives today will be the key to keeping, obviously, that Jacks offense off the field.
So North Dakota State will kick off. South Dakota State won the toss, and they will take the football and have it first. So NDSU will have the football to start the second half, and that decision, LT, maybe not that surprising. I think the Jacks would like to jump up on top, get their offense rolling right out of the chutes here.
Well, the Jackrabbits know that their key to winning today or any day is they're an offense and a team designed around outscoring their opponent. The Jackrabbits defense has been okay at times. It has been very poor at times, but it is an offense that needs to score touchdowns to have a chance to win today. Obviously, that's the way it is for any team. They have to score points, but the Jackrabbits with the big three have to score, and they want to score early.
And it's going to be a fun matchup on that side of the ball in particular. South Dakota State averaging 40 points a game, 4th best in the FCS. North Dakota State allowing only 10 points per game. That is 2nd best in the FCS. So Cam Peterson will kick things off here this afternoon at Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium. Pretty full stadium here to start things off. this afternoon. And time for another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planning season with Peterson Farm Seed. Cade Johnson deep. A redshirt freshman out of Papillion, Nebraska will take a knee. South Dakota State will start at its own 25-yard line. Let's take a look at that North Dakota State starting lineup brought to you by Shields.
Caleb Butler, Blaine, Minnesota. Nathan Tangway, Quantico, Wisconsin.
Aaron Steidel, Carlos, Minnesota.
Stanley Jones, Bismarck, North Dakota. Levi Jordan, Dickinson, North Dakota. Nick DeLuca, Omaha, Nebraska. Jabril Cox, Kansas City, Missouri.
Jalen Bush, St. Petersburg, Florida.
Robbie Grimsley, Hutchinson, Minnesota.
Trey Dempsey, Lakeland, Florida. Dale Nelson, Papillion, Nebraska.
All right, you notice Jabril Cox in the starting lineup typically, but again, will sit out the first half due to an issue with the targeting last week in the second half against Northern Iowa. First play, Taryn Christian on the option to Brady Mengarelli. Minimal gain of a yard. Let's take a look at the South Dakota State offense. Starting lineup also brought to you by Shields. And again, it's the big three of Christian, the big man Dallas Goddard, and Jake Wenicky. Setting all sorts of career records, but LT, that starting front on the offensive line, it's really been kind of a revolving doors at a lot of those positions.
It's been patchwork. Gannett last week started and played one play, but yeah, if he's not in there, then the Jacks have to do a multiple position switch.
Christian to throw. Pocket collapses, and Christian completes the pass to Jacob Brown, who sneaks free. And Brown has a first down to the 44-yard line. That was one of those run-pass options. Robbie Grimsley was in the area, but just a little bit over his outstretched hand for a first down.
And the Jacks want to go fast after the first down. They do not want the Bison to substitute.
Christian across the middle, and this is complete again. Inside NDSU territory, down to the 40-yard line. Dallas Goddard, his first reception of the day.
Yeah, it just didn't look like DeLuca got a deep enough drop. And so there was plenty of space between Dempsey, the safety, and DeLuca. Goddard is able to run just a little bit of a square-in pattern, about 15 yards deep. That window was too large.
So Christian out of the shotgun again here on first down. Quickly, South Dakota State inside Bison territory. Matt Plank showing some pressure. Now Christian going to run with it, and Christian taken down by DeLuca for a loss of 1.
Yeah, that was a design quarterback run, and Nick DeLuca was all over Taryn Christian. Nodak Insurance Company replay. The little kind of a, not much of a fake to Mengarelli. You're trying to get DeLuca, to bite on that or freeze just a little bit. He's too good to do that. Nick DeLuca is, I've mentioned it before, mentioned it in the pregame show in the open. I think if DeLuca played last year in the regular season, I think the Bison would have won. So we'll see how that plays out today, but Nick's one of the best.
So Christian will throw it this time. Pressure across the middle, complete again. And another first down for the Jackson. Another explosive play. This time, Marquise Lewis makes the reception.
Lewis had an explosive play for a touchdown last week. A little pass to the sideline where he zipped up and scored. The one thing with Goddard, the big two, Goddard and Wenicky, they force you to concentrate so much on where those two guys are. You have man-to-man coverage elsewhere with the individuals, and that time it was one-on-one. Dempsey against Lewis, and Lewis was able to get inside of Trey.
23 yards on that connection from Christian to Lewis. And the Jacks inside the red zone. Quick flip on the little shovel pass. Cade Johnson keeps his feet to about the 14-yard line, gain of 4.
That's the Jackrabbits version of the jet sweep, if you will, and the reason that you toss it is because it is a forward pass, and if for some reason something in the exchange gets goofy, it just goes down as an incomplete pass. So that goes as passing yards. Bison string it out. Plank helps string it out. DeLuca's there, and then here comes a bunch of help. But the Jacks like that Johnson kid, the kick returner as well. He has some breakaway abilities.
Kane Lusher, the fullback, the only tailback in the formation this time. Christian across the middle, wide open receiver, and it is caught for a touchdown by Brown, and the Jacks strike right away on its opening drive.
beautiful little fake to the outside. That freezes Dempsey, the safety. Nodak Insurance Company replay. Eyes are to the outside. Dempsey's hedging to the outside, reading the quarterback's eyes. And he's able to slip right between Hendricks and split the safeties for the touchdown. Impressive drive.
We're right out of the chute. South Dakota State goes right down the field and predominantly through the air as Vinatieri adds the extra point to make it a 7-0 lead.
Well, now we know why SDSU wanted the ball once they won the coin flip.
We'll take a quick timeout and be back with more from here at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium. 7-0 Jacks. Back here at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium, 7-0 North Dakota State trailing as we take a look at the Bobcats scoring recap. 7 plays, 75 yards, and all 75 of the yards gained were through the air. Taryn Christian, 5 of 5 on that drive, 75 yards, and the 14-yard touchdown to Jacob Brown.
Tell you the play I thought that was most impressive was the one where Christian was out on the move. He went off to the flat to a little there and just got it right over the safety, dropped it in to move. I believe it was the first down of that, or the second, first down of that drive. I thought that was a little improvising type of a play that Christian is so good at. And then the other ones were just boom, boom, boom down the field.
Dimitri Williams back deep. Another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planning season with Peterson Farm Seed. Williams driven back inside his own end zone. Will bring it out to the 15. Flag comes in as Williams gets out to the 25-yard line. So we'll see what the flag's all about.
During the return, holding. Number 35, the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That will go on Josh Hayes, the true freshman out of Florida. And that will back up the Bison inside their own 15-yard line. So NDSU will come out with 2 tight ends, a fullback, and the tailback, Bruce Anderson, here on 1st and 10.
Bison really want to establish something between the tackles, running the ball and running it well.
Anderson met right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the plays. We take a look at that starting lineup for the North Dakota State offense, brought to you by Shields.
Easton Stick, Omaha, Nebraska.
Colin Connor, Linden, Wisconsin.
Bryce Messner, Mackville, North Dakota.
Tanner Volson, Belfour, North Dakota.
Austin Coonert, Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Zach Johnson, Spring Lake Park, Minnesota.
Connor Wentz, Denellen, Florida.
Brock Robbins, Cavalier, North Dakota.
Bruce Anderson, Tampa, Florida.
RJ Rosendowski, Omaha, Nebraska.
Darius Shepard, Blue Springs, Missouri.
So Stick will throw here on 2nd and 9, and it was almost intercepted on the quick out. Anthony Washington had his hands on it, and that will bring up 3rd and long.
Washington had a good read and a good break on the ball. The Bison a little bit lucky that he did not hold on to that for the interception.
Take a look at the Shield starting lineup for the South Dakota State defense. Christian Rosaboom, the leading tackler by 30 over anybody else on the team. Kellen Solik, the most experienced defensive lineman, and a couple of experienced safeties as well, and Chris Balstra and Nick Farina. Big 3rd down conversion here for North Dakota State. 3rd and 9. Stick going to air it out for Rosendowski, and no flag on the play, and the coverage was Micaiah Slade. And that'll bring up a punting situation.
Well, did you see what I did on the no flag thing?
I thought I saw the jersey get tugged.
There was a jersey being pulled here on your Nodak Insurance Company replay. A little bit overthrown. The Bison motion out to an empty formation, forcing the Jackrabbits to have max coverage, trying to hit the long pass downfield. But 3rd and long, that's where NDSU does not want to be, and that's where they were on their first possession.
Slade was actually the safety, but it was Jordan Brown who was the one that tugged at the jersey a little bit. So Jackson Kuntz on for the punt. Kind of a low liner that will take a Bison hop at the 45. And coming up, looked like he was going to make a play on it, was Adam Anderson, decided better of it. But South Dakota State still very good field position at their own 45-yard line.
I think that little surge to the ball made the coaching staff and the sidelines from the Jackrabbits get a little nervous because they didn't want Anderson anywhere near that ball after it hit the turf.
Today's game is sponsored by Gate City Bank. Show your Bison pride with an NDSU Gate City Bank ATM and check card. Visit gatecitybank.com/mycard. So the Jacks quickly back to work after a 3-and-out from North Dakota State. Christian hit from behind by Caleb Butler. Derek Tuska also got back there for a loss of 4.
Tuska, first guy there, gets around the edge. Nodak Insurance Company replay. Look, he just blows right past the tackle, takes Christian's timing away, takes his vision away. Christian has to try to get into scramble mode. He couldn't do it because Caleb Butler was there. At the same time, the two defensive ends combining for the minus yards. Nice job up front by NDSU.
Christian quickly fired out to Johnson, who's a pretty electric redshirt freshman. Nice tackle on the play by Nate Tangway after a gain of 7. Will bring up 3rd and 7.
Not only nice tackle, Brian, I think a very important tackle because DeLuca blitzed on the play, and where the rush, after the catch, where he was going, to the area that Nick vacated. So if the tackle's not made after a pickup of 4, 5, 6 yards on the play, it could have been a lot bigger. Real nice job by the senior Tangway to take that away before it got to second level.
South Dakota State very good in these situations. 56% on 3rd down, leads the nation.
That's a crazy number.
Bison showing some pressure on the edge. DeLuca coming in after Christian. Christian gets away, fires downfield, and Christian has another completion to Lewis for a first down to the 32.
Taryn Christian's feet. He creates time and space with his feet. Most of the time, that'd have been a sack. Instead, it's a first down.
Christian flushed again. Flag coming in. I think they're going to get a hold on this play as Christian will run out of bounds near the sticks. But again, I think this one is coming back due to a hold on Charlie Harmon, the right tackle.
Yeah, Harmon was working one-on-one against Stanley Jones, and that's an easy call.
10-yard penalty, remains first down.
So the Bison finding some things they like, and so far defensively being aggressive on the edges. The defensive ends so far are winning, I think, their battles with the tackles. And Stanley Jones, even though he didn't get there, but he was held on the play. So what would have been a first down on a quarterback scramble, you lose about close to 20 yards on the play.
We've already seen a lot of rotations up front. You even see the true freshman in there, Logan McCormick, number 77.
Yeah, most teams talk about a front 4. The Bison have a front 10.
Goddard will motion. Christian will run and go nowhere. He lost 5 yards. How about Aaron Steidel flying in?
Well, that is the main perceived advantage, we thought anyway, coming into the game. NDSU's defensive line, the depth that you just had mentioned already, Brian, and the ability. Steidel blows past the guard easy. You're not supposed to be able to do that on the interior part of the line. But again, once you get to Christian, you must bring him down, because if you don't, he will hurt you.
Third and a long way, about 24. Bison bringing more pressure. Christian getting away and running, and now firing downfield and behind his intended target, incomplete. So the Bison able to hold on that particular drive and force a punting situation.
Because of the penalty, Brian, that was just second down, I believe.
Oh, excuse me, second down.
Second down, not third down. Yep.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
third down at 23 coming up.
Because of the hold.
Correct.
So now we have the third and 23.
See the elusiveness is Christian.
Anytime he starts running, if you're, a Bison jersey, you get nervous.
Isaac Wallace is going to get the carry, and Levi Jordheim there to make the tackle after a gain of just 1. And now South Dakota State will punt it away.
Interesting call. It's almost like the Jacks were just giving up and they'll play a little field position here, not even trying to expose themselves or trying to go downfield with too much danger. Levi Jordheim staying free, making the tackle on Wallace. And the Jacks content with the lead to play a little field position here.
Boy, that holding penalty, huge, LT. Just a huge part in the game.
Well, yeah, he would have had the first down. I mean, Christian was past the 22.
So Brady Hale on for his first punt. We'll send this one down to Darius Shepard, who calls for the fair catch and juggles it for a moment, but makes the catch at the 12-yard line. And we will take a timeout. North Dakota State with the football back, trailing by 7 here in the first quarter in Brookings. A bit of chill in the air here in Brookings. Today's guide sponsored by Gate City Bank, and for a limited time only, receive $700 off your mortgage closing costs. For more details, visit gatecitybank.com/betterhomeloans. North Dakota State, just 1 yard on its opening drive. Will start here 1st and 10 from the 11. Ty Brooks with the carry, will squeak outside off a block, and here comes Ty Brooks. Got a great block downfield. Brooks to the 40. He may go. Touchdown, North Dakota State. No flags. Oh, there is one back at the 38. Excuse me. The Bison had a couple of people around the sidelines that were standing over it, but there is a flag back at the 38-yard line, so hold everything. Way back on the sidelines, right in front of our cameras.
Remains first down.
I didn't catch the number that they called. Nodak Insurance Company replay downfield. Well, you see the jersey being pulled right there. Was that Dallas Freeman, I think? 83 in there, shoving the guy way out of bounds with a fistful of jersey right in front of the official. But the Bison, the first time NDSU had the ball, tried some power inside, didn't have it. That was an outside G. Tanner Bolson was perfect on that particular play, pulling out in front, but it's all wiped out.
Flag came out pretty late on that sideline. Gain of about 12 on that play, still, regardless of the flag. Now Anderson back to work. Will try to bounce it outside. We'll get to the sideline and gain about 3 yards or 4 up to the 27.
One of the safeties, Nick Farina, there to run him out of bounds. The two starting safeties have more of a reputation as being run stoppers. The two guys who play behind them are better pass coverage guys. So it's interesting to see how they will work their safeties today.
Take a look at your North Dakota Beef Commission quarterback stats. And for Easton Stick, 64% of his passes, 14 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Also has 5 rushing touchdowns on the season. And Stick is going to keep it this time up the middle. And Easton Stick stumbles his way to the 44-yard line. And good enough for a Bison first down. Boy, a lot of room up the middle that time for number 12.
Well, the right side, Tanner Bolson the center, and the guys off to his right do a great job. Look at Kunert. He just blows those guys out of there. And Mesner takes care of the second-level linebacker, and then the first contact that Stick has is with the safety. Anytime you can do that, that is a really good thing. That's what Youngstown State did to this defense. Youngstown just ran it right down the heart of the Jackrabbits in the Penguins' victory, and the Bison know they want to establish something today right up the middle in between those tackles.
Play action. Stick rolls and now fires a little bit late. Connor Wentz, the intended target, incomplete. Balster in on the coverage for the Jacks.
I don't know that either of Stick's looks were that open, and he just kept rolling, hoping there would be some space created. Nodak Insurance Company replay. You see Wentz has that guy right on his hip the whole time, well covered. Safety reaches across, knocks it away, but I don't know that Easton had a lot of choices there, and then there was no space to turn it up and try to run either.
So 2nd and 10. Stick under some pressure, now getting flushed. And now fires on the run, open receiver on the sidelines, and it is incomplete. Dallas Freeman caught the football, but apparently did not get a foot down, and that will bring up 3rd down for the Bison.
More than enough yardage for the 1st down, but he couldn't get a foot down. Stick on the roll, you see a perfect look at it.
Oh, I think that's a catch.
Yeah, I think you need 1 foot down. Only 1 foot is needed to get down,
yeah,
and that heel is
catch.
up. I do think that's a catch. But instead, it's 3rd and long.
Surprised they don't look at that one a little bit closer.
And now Coach Kleiman is going to take a timeout to have the guys look at this. He's going to ask the official to look at this, I believe.
Again, that left foot before the right, I think, is down, right?
Sure thought so. You only need 1 in college.
First one right there. That's a catch. Right there.
But let's tell everybody who's watching at home that we are not the replay booth this week. We do not know what the angle that the officials are using because they're using the home TV network to do the replays. And I don't think they're replaying.
They're still not looking at it. I'm surprised. So 3rd and 10 for SDSU. Bison 45% on 3rd down this season. Stick, plenty of time in the pocket. Now fires late, and was it hung on to? I think it was. Connor Wentz right at the sticks has enough for a 1st down.
Very impressive catch there by Connor Wentz, and he does have the 1st down. Nodak Insurance Company replay, end zone view at it. 3 rushers, max coverage. 8 guys trying to guard, and boy, Connor Wentz makes one of his better catches of the year. Stick rifles it in there right at the 1st down marker. A late adjustment on the ball. Very good hands there from Connor Wentz as the Bison extend the drive. This is an important drive, too.
Freeman the motion man. Stick will keep it again. Stick inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line. Good pickup on 1st down of about 8 yards.
One of the things today the Bison are doing a little bit different on the read option is Stick is looking at the linebacker instead of the defensive end. He's looking at Rosaboom and where Rosaboom is going as opposed to the defensive end that it's done. It's an adjustment. It's a little tweak the Bison are making the day, but it's one they think they have to do. And if Stick makes the right call, sees Rosaboom vacate, he will keep.
Stick fires on the slant. Urzendowski's got the catch to the 20-yard line, down to the 15 before Washington takes him down. Another Bison 1st down.
One of the tendencies of the Jackrabbit defense is to play very soft on their corners. And I just talked about how the 2 safeties are known more for tackling than they are for their pass coverage. And you saw how Farina was late to the game. And Urzendowski's able to get free off the line. He's going 8 yards deep before running a slant to the middle of the field, able to beat the safety. That's a play designed to beat the safety, not beat the corner. 23 yards on that connection for the Creighton Prep duo. Now back to the ground game. Brooks wants to bounce it out, now cuts it back inside before he is taken down on the play by Dalton Cox. Gained about 3, maybe 4. My first guess is that Ty missed the window. I think there was a play a little bit closer to off tackle that would have opened up, but he tried to go a little bit outside and got cut down for less gain. Nodak Insurance Company replay. We'll look at it again. Oh, this is the pass play on the slant. And the good pickup by those 2 guys that have been pitching and catching together for a long time.
10th play of the drive that started back at the Bison 12. Seth Wilson, his first ever collegiate carry. Well, he was going to be a redshirt freshman.
Anymore.
Got his redshirt pulled last week, played 1 play. last Saturday against Northern Iowa, and that is the first time he has carried the ball in a Bison uniform.
Well, if the Bison certainly don't feel and don't expect, to have a long run in the playoffs, which everyone around this program expects, then I don't know if that decision is made. But the Bison know that they can't do what they want to do with two tailbacks. They need the third, and that's why Wilson had the red shirt pulled.
3rd and 4 for the Bison. Stick design run. Follows a lead block by Robbins and gets a first down inside the 5.
We've seen this outside kind of power play, G, if you will. Kunert, oh, great block by Austin Kunert. This time you don't even mess with the handoff. You know the quarterback's going to run it. The Bison don't like to expose Stick a lot in the running game, but when do you choose to do that? You do it in the red zone and you do it on 3rd down, and in that case it was both 3rd down and in the red zone.
I formation, Anderson the tailback. Play action for Stick. Fires across the middle, caught! Touchdown, North Dakota State, Connor Wentz.
Third touchdown catch of the year for Connor Wentz, and we know he had that really huge 3rd down catch to keep this all-important drive for the Bison alive, and then he finishes off in the end zone. Nice answer by the Bison offense.
12 plays, 88 yards on that drive for North Dakota State.
A drive that looked like it was going to be one play.
Peterson, the extra point, knocks it through, and we're tied at 7. With 50 seconds left in the first quarter, we'll step aside and be back with more from here at Brookings. The first time these two teams played for the Dakota Marker in the Division I era, 2004, and it was a classic here in Brookings. Both teams going back and forth, the Jacks winning it 24-21. That's what they're playing for here today, a 75-pound rock called the Dakota Marker.
Always nice to have a little extra in this series. This is the, 107th meeting between these two teams.
Cam Peterson on for another Cam Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planting season with Peterson Farm Seed. Booted about 2 yards deep, and Johnson thought about bringing it out, but then decided to take an E, and the Jacks will start at their own 25. Nodak Insurance Company replay, LT.
Well, Connor Wentz is able to get inside. They give a linebacker on Wentz. That's what you want. And Connor catches the 7th touchdown of the year as a tight end group. That's something that the Bison have, one of their positions, tight end advantage that most teams don't. 12 plays, 88 yards. Wentz again with that all-important 3rd down catch that extended the drive, and then he finishes it with the 4-yard touchdown.
Well, the Jacks do have 96 total yards, but so far -5 rushing yards here in the first quarter. Christian will throw again. Firing, got her wide open at the 40 to midfield and taken down by Hendricks, or did he lose the football? No. Down by contact at the 41 of NDSU, and got her wide open there on the sideline.
Boy, that was a nice play. There was a ton of things happening on that, all to disrupt the defensive backs. You clear the corner, the safety goes with the guy in the middle, and then you got the best tight end in this division in the country left open by about 10 yards. That was a nice play, but I think it's coming back.
Flag. Half the distance to the goal. And I believe it was a hold, was it not, LT?
I did not pick up what the call was.
So that will negate a 34-yard reception from Goddard. The fans here don't like it.
Well, it'll be real interesting to see how the Jacks answer after a big penalty against them. Obviously, the Bison had a touchdown wiped off on Ty Brooks' long run, and NDSU was able to still get the 88 yards for the game-tying score.
And a couple of huge penalties here early on South Dakota State.
Watch the lower right. Stanley Jones going against. There's a big tug. Yeah, the Bison defensive ends are owning this game right now.
Christian's going to run again, and this time some room, and Christian tripped up at about the 23-yard line, so a gain of about 8 yards. And that will be the final play of the first quarter. We'll have 2nd and 12 for South Dakota State at its own 23-yard line. When we come back, it's been a fun first quarter. We're tied up at 7 on the Egg Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. Today's game is sponsored by Gate City Bank. Gate City Bank has been serving customers and investing in a better way of life since 1923 with 36 locations in 19 communities across North Dakota and western Minnesota. 2nd and 12 for South Dakota State from the 23. Christian fires, and that is caught by the backup tight end, Kavanaugh, and Kavanaugh has a first down across the 35 to the 38.
That was some really good reads there post-snap by Taryn Christian. The Bison did a bunch of movement. They brought Robbie Grimsley down. They also brought Hendricks down. There was a nickel situation, and Kavanaugh, they really think that this kid right here is going to be the next big thing at tight end. They think that he's Dallas Goddard Jr. in the making. He's a true freshman as well. There's a look at Taryn Christian's numbers, brought to you by the North Dakota Beef Commission. 21 touchdowns, just 4 picks. And that pass dropped by Goddard. Well designed there by South Dakota State, but the big man dropped it. Will bring up 2nd and 10. Goddard was the right tight end of the 2 tight end set. Kavanaugh takes off, tries to clear out, and then Goddard runs a little bit of a pattern, just a cross pattern in front, behind his offensive line, in front of his quarterback. And then for a guy who's made so many one-handed catches, you just don't expect him to drop one right in the breadbasket.
Now the Jacks will move around a little bit and split Goddard out.
Well, Winicky comes in motion to split the field.
Mengarelli, his first carry, slips a couple of tackles and spins his way across the 45-yard line. Will bring up 3rd and 2.
Well, the Jacks have to believe it's important for them not to abandon the run. Here Mengarelli does a good job spinning on that 2nd and long play. But the Jackrabbits know that their success today and so far has been through the air. But you can't throw it on every single down. They have to try to find a little bit of balance. And when the Jackrabbits offense has been at its best this year, is when the running game has been a part of it.
3rd and 2, Brown in motion. Christian, a little jump pass, and it was batted down, incomplete.
Sure looked like Matt Plank was the guy who got a hand on that. We talk about an RPO, though, a run-pass option. Nope, he's reading, and 44 takes it away, trying to get it to Goddard.
Good recognition there from Plank, who's back healthy again after missing some time due to an ankle injury. And a punting situation again for South Dakota State.
But that's how the Jackrabbits put pressure on a defense, because run plays look like passes, pass plays look like run. It is really in some conflict against the defense.
Brady Hale will spin one down towards Darius Shepard, who makes a fair catch at about the 17-yard line. And we will step aside once again. 13:23 to go here in the second quarter. We're tied at 7 on the Egg Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. The Dakota marker. Bison have had some success here in Brookings, winning the last 3 times here, including in 2011, 38-14 the final score that year. And of course, NDSU went on to win the national championship a little bit later.
Yeah, the Bison have owned the series, won 9 of the last 10 games, I believe.
So the Bison offense went 12 plays and 88 yards in the last drive, this time backed up inside its own 20-yard line. Inside handoff. Little bit of room there, not a ton across the 20-yard line is Bruce Anderson.
It's not a huge surprise if you look at the first quarter stats and you see the fact that NDSU is outgained on the ground, and NDSU had 56 more rushing yards than the Jackrabbits did.
Let's take a look at your trivia question, sponsored by the North Dakota Soybean Council. How many grams of protein are in 1 cup of soy milk? LT will have your answer in a little bit. Stretch play to Ty Brooks, who was drilled by Roseboom after a gain of 1.
Well, he's the tackling leader. I know he's only a sophomore, but it sure feels like this kid's been playing for about 4 years already. Leads the team in tackles, came in with 34 more than anyone else. Roseboom is able to square up and plant the running back. We all know he's not a fan favorite after a tackle last year on number 8, but that's one of the reasons this rivalry has gotten so intense over the years.
3rd and 7. Easton Stick airing it out. Open receiver is Shepard. He got behind the defense and made the catch in Jack's territory at the 47.
One-on-one with the safety is a green light today for NDSU. Nodak Insurance Company replay. Stick with real good protection. He is able to stay patient in the pocket and step into the throw. Look at Shepard just turning on another gear. Stick laying it right in there. Bolster, he got behind early on the route on his defensive side. Shep made him pay.
And another big 3rd down conversion as well for North Dakota State. Ty Brooks on the end around, trying to use a block, could not get outside. That time, good pursuit by the Jacks. Roseboom got over there with Bolster and gave Ty Brooks no room to run. Loss of a yard.
Well, in the back-to-back plays just goes for what the scouting report tells you. Bolster much better on the run against the pass. He was man up against Shepard. He got burned. He comes downhill, does not give the corner up. Veteran secondary. Outside of Roseboom, they're a little thin, the Jacks are, at the linebacker spot, but the veteran part of the defense is on the back end.
Play action for Stick. One-on-one coverage. Urzendowski down the field. Could not hang on to it. Incomplete. Jordan Brown on the coverage. Bison coach is screaming for a flag.
My first reaction was to grab the hip as well too, meaning where my flag was. But a little stop route, a stop and go. Again, great protection. Pretty good coverage. Isolation, there's this, there's where you're yelling. That's what we didn't see during the play is the hold. Urzendowski was definitely held on the play. The recovery made by the corner, but there was a hold.
Another big 3rd and long. This time the Jacks bringing pressure. This one fired. And another incompletion and no flag as Jeff Ilias was the intended target. Coverage on the play by Alex Romanesco, excuse me.
Yeah, Romanesco coming in on a passing situation. We talked about the way the safeties work. He's better known as a coverage guy. And once again, once the ball got there, there was a lot of contact going on. No call on the play.
Easton Stick a little bit of a grin that time. Chris Kleiman wondering what his receivers have to do to get a flag thrown. So Jackson Kuntz on for the punt. It's the Bison, and a flag comes out right away as this one is booted down inside the 5 and into the end zone for a touchback.
Usually means someone left a little early, moved a little bit early. It will be against NDSU.
The Jacks will probably just bring the ball, I'm guessing.
5 players in the backfield. Kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down.
So the Jacks will start at the 25 instead of the 20 with the 5 yards.
Well, what Coach Kleiman and everyone was looking at and what you saw in those, we'll talk about it after the break.
7-7. We're tied up. Jacks got the football back when we return. South Dakota State with the football back in a tie game, 7-7. Taryn Christian will operate out of the shotgun once again. A couple of tailbacks to each side. Now Mengarelli will split outside. Christian, plenty of time in the pocket, one-on-one coverage for Winicky, who makes the reception on Jalen Allison, all the way into the Bison territory to the 30-yard line.
Well, I know at home you don't get to listen in to what Brian and I talked about during the break, but we just saw exactly what we talked about during the break. Nodak Insurance Company replay, we said, hey, Winicky hasn't had many opportunities here, and there he does, one-on-one with Jalen Allison. That's one of the tougher guards in the league. I know that's where Allison will shadow him. He'll go where Winicky goes. But the Jacks down to the 30.
One of those explosive plays that South Dakota State makes a lot of, and that one goes for 40 yards. Christian flushed out and taken down from behind for no gain by Jared Tuska.
So important to make sure that Christian does not get outside of that tackle box when he starts moving around. Bison did a tremendous job to keep him there and bring him down.
Let's take a look at the answer to your trivia question brought to you by the North Dakota Soybean Council. How many grams of protein are in 1 cup of soy milk? The answer is 6 to 8. So 2nd and 10 now for the Jacks. Ooh, a screen pass and dangerous, and Blake Williams was the guy that I think got in the way of that pass. Goddard was the intended target. Will bring up 3rd and 10.
It certainly was a pass breakup there by Blake Williams and almost an opportunity for an interception, trying to set up the middle screen for Goddard. Nodak Insurance Company replay. Williams playing off that, sees, boom.
He almost came up with that. He read that really well.
Almost got it, yep.
Third and 10, Bison showing some pressure. Here they come, and a screen, and it was called at the perfect time for Goddard, who has a first down to the 10-yard line. And SDSU will go quickly.
Little different concept, or a little different play design, but the same concept with the tight end screen.
Isaac Wallace will make his first carry of the day, and taken down by James Hendricks as he gets inside the 5-yard line.
I'll tell you, that pylon on the corner of the end zone opened up a little bit. James Hendricks really came downfield hard. He had to. If he doesn't get the tackle, it's a touchdown. I think Mikey Daniel is in there at tailback now. He's been the guy who's gotten a lot of short yardage touchdowns for SDSU.
And now South Dakota State will call for a timeout on 2nd and 3. And you mentioned Mikey Daniel, how important he's been in these short yardage situations. Leads the team with 8 rushing touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns against Missouri State. Did run for 66 yards in a score against Western Illinois in a victory last Saturday.
And the Jackrabbits and their ability to hit big plays, that's the way the Jackrabbits scoring drives. They don't have many all year long that are, 5-6 yard pickups all the way down the field. Somewhere in their scoring drives is usually a big play or two.
And Christian already 180 yards passing here in the first half.
Now Mingarelli comes in. Daniel goes out.
Lusher also in the game, a fullback.
Which makes me think a little bit more pass maybe than run.
Option. Christian is going to throw this one away, and that thing was sniffed out right away by North Dakota State.
Yeah, he saw a 4 and a 9 not allowing anything to happen, and Christian actually takes a little hit at the back end of this play, but does the right thing by heaving it out. Nodak Insurance Company replay. There is no way that Nick DeLuca is going to get burned on this play on the ground. He strung it out, forced the quarterback to make a decision, and the QB probably made the right one just to get rid of it.
3rd and 3. Christian going to float it up to the back of the end zone, and falling down was Goddard. Incomplete, no flag. Trey Dempsey on the coverage.
Well, the Jacks are so famous for running the fade to Winicky. Here they used Winicky as the decoy. He's the guy running inside, right underneath. Tried to get the fade back out to Goddard. Safety had him all the way.
So that will bring on Chase Vinatieri for a field goal attempt. He only missed against UNI here a couple of weeks ago. He has 4 of 5. He has run in for a touchdown on a fake at Montana State in September.
But he has missed 4 PATs from close range too, so Vinatieri's been a little inconsistent from this distance.
This time, Vinatieri connects, and the Jacks regain the lead, 10-7.
You've heard Coach Kleiman talk many times about field goals versus giving up touchdowns. You'll give up the 3 points. As Coach Kleiman has said, field goals don't beat you, touchdowns beat you. So the fact that the Jacks got it inside the 5 and you only gave up 3, yeah, you don't have the lead, but it's a little mini win for NDSU.
And how many times last year did South Dakota State have the ball inside the Bison territory and got no points? So now with 7:52 to go until halftime, we'll see if North Dakota State offensively can respond.
Now the Bison picked up a couple of first downs, got it to midfield, but that's not quite good enough against this team and this offense. You need to keep the ball away from South Dakota State.
Dimitri Williams back deep for NDSU.
Also, the Bison, I think, have taken more deep shots today than was in the playbook, but that's kind of what South Dakota State's given them, and NDSU hasn't quite clicked deep enough yet.
Another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planning season with Peterson Farm Seed. Williams, 3 yards deep, wants to bring it out. A lot of blue jerseys back there. Williams can't get away. Taken down at the 10-yard line. Good job by the backup linebacker, Dalton Cox, on special teams.
I know Cox is listed as a backup linebacker, but he's played a lot of reps already today because Kleinschmidt, well, the usual starter, number 31's been unable to go, so Cox has been in there with this first team defensive unit.
And NDSU has really had rotten field position all day to start. Back to the power game room this time for Anderson, who was taken down in the hole after a gain of about 4 yards.
That was one of those plays that was so close to being able to pop it big. Nodak Insurance Company replay. Because the Bison flipped their tight end, the linebackers shifted off as you were watching this replay to the left, and the Bison were able to play back against the grain. So that's where you try to move one of the linebackers, in this case Rosaboom, the leading tackler, away from where you intend to run it. And if he just could have got past that one, there'd have been another 20 plus in there.
Yeah, Anthony Washington was the guy that came in. Now Stick will throw. Going to air it out deep. Shepard downfield. Incomplete. And again, no flag. They're letting him play in the secondary today.
Oh, they certainly are. I thought that one in game speed might have happened a little bit earlier, but no doubt on a little out and up. Shepard had him beat, but the Bison did not connect on another deep ball. Nodak Insurance Company replay. Stick has all the time in the world. The nice pump fake. And you be the judge. The fact that the ball was just a little underthrown makes you keep the flag in your pocket.
3rd and 5. Stick under pressure, and down he goes back at the 5-yard line. Flying in to make that sack was Ryan Arith.
Jackrabbits do not blitz very often, and so whenever they can get pressure with their front floor, you see the little cross, and then the offensive lineman, in this place Connor, he got they were unable to hand him off, or he couldn't get back in front of him. So a little stunt by the defensive line. Arith from his his defensive end position, blasting through the middle to get the sack.
So a 3 and out, and now Jackson Kuntz will send one pretty deep, and a pretty good punt this time, taken by Anderson. Fair catch at the 45 with the Jacks. Good field position, and we will step aside. South Dakota State with a 3-point lead, and the football when we come back. Today's game is sponsored by Gate City Bank. Show your Bison pride with an NDSU Gate City Bank ATM and check card. Visit gatecitybank.com/mycard. South Dakota State set up with good field position once again at their own 45, 1st and 10. Pressure coming on Taryn Christian again. He's going to air it out, fire high and caught. And again, it's Goddard, pushed out of bounds by Robbie Grimsley inside Bison territory at the 40, 39-yard line. Good enough for a first down.
The Jackrabbits are so successful with their verticals, it really clears out underneath. Goddard is able to play across 3 different zones, and the Bison just can't keep up with him. He started on the right side of the formation and came across 3 different spots, 3 different areas on the field, and you can't hand him off or follow him in long enough to guard him for that long.
Gain of 16. And boy, Christian was lucky to get back on top of that football. Robbie Grimsley back there to make the tackle. Loss of 5.
Christian doesn't want to take the big hit. He's looking off, and he goes, uh-oh, here comes the safety on a little bit of a blitz. He's just going to go down and not take the punishment.
Grimsley had a really good game last week against Northern Iowa, including a pick 6 in the first half. This time it's Megarelli getting the carry, and he goes nowhere. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. Aaron Steidel, Grant Morgan in there to finish that thing off.
First guy there is number 5, Robbie Grimsley, once again trying to run at him, knowing that the Bison are in the nickel, or Grimsley's playing an outside linebacker position because Jabril Cox is not in there. So a lot of reps this week done by Grimsley in a linebacker type situation. Now it's more of a nickel as Grimsley's out in the slot.
Cox will be available in the second half, and this a flanker screen. Caleb Butler came all the way over to make the tackle on Cade Johnson. No gain again. So the defense stiffens here for NDSU.
Play designed to make the first guy miss, but you do not expect the first guy to be a defensive end. Butler just flying out of there after he reads where the quarterback gets rid of it so fast, uses his speed to the outside. That's why the Bison have such high expectations of Caleb Butler, and he usually comes through.
So Brady Hale on for another punt. End over end. Shepard will call for the fair catch and make it at his own 10-yard line. And North Dakota State backed up again, trailing by 3.
Yeah, what did you say the last time the Bison had the ball here? The terrible field position that NDSU's offense has been put in? Jacks winning the field position battle once again.
Now important here, LT, even if the Bison don't get points, they just hang on to the football the rest of the half.
Stay on the field.
Because the Bison will have the football coming out of the locker room. And they will have Jabril Cox back coming out of the locker room, which will help as well. Stick will operate out of the shotgun here on 1st and 10.
And you've got your 2 batteries still, right?
And Shepard open in the slot, eludes one man, and then keeps fighting to the 16-yard line. Gain of 6 on 1st down.
Nodak Insurance Company replay, fake on the run, then about a 5-yard, 6-yard pickup.
Let's head it down to Ryan Gelner, our sideline reporter today, for an update. Ryan.
Hi guys, good chilly afternoon from the sidelines. A First International Bank and Trust, just a quick note on the time of possession. It seems like South Dakota State has held this football most of the game, but in reality, it's 15 minutes for South Dakota State, 11 and a half for the Bison, guys.
All right, thank you, Ryan. And a first down on that play action to Shepard again. He makes the catch up at the 21-yard line. So NDSU moves the chains and gets themselves a little breathing room here.
Back-to-back plays, same play, opposite side of the field. The Jacks are playing a little cushion, allowing the man in the slot, in this case Shepard, a little 5-yard catch, a little stop route. He catches it, gets a couple of extra yards. Now the Bison change personnel.
Under 2.5 to go. Desmond Kane, the motion man. Play action. Stick dumping it off. Connor Wentz open. And Connor Wentz getting another NDSU first down. Gain of about 15 yards to the 37.
Heavy run look from NDSU on that possession, and Wentz just fakes, gives a 1 second at the line of scrimmage that he's going to block. You see it, then he plays off, spins off the linebacker, and gets out into the flat.
Now under 2 minutes to go, the Bison do have a couple of timeouts. They want to try to get points here before the end of the half. Pressure coming, stick unloading, and it's Urzendowski cutting inside. The pass goes outside, and Jordan Brown makes the interception at the 40.
Not a better way to describe it than you just did, Brian. The ball was released. Urzendowski's like, okay, here, and I've got him back to the inside. I got his hips flipped already, and I have an opportunity for a big play back toward the safety, but Stick did not read the same thing that the wide receiver did, and he let loose of the ball to the out.
So now SDSU at their own 40-yard line, 1:40 to work with in 2 timeouts. First turnover of the game on either team. Boy, and had Stick thrown it inside, Urzendowski may have run it in for a touchdown. There was nobody home for South Dakota State. Christian will throw, has time, down the seam, and a completion pass, I should say, to Dallas Goddard inside Bison territory, all the way down to the 38.
Verticals and seams, that's where SDSU has gotten so many yards. You saw, I think that was DeLuca, got a little bump, but Goddard is so big, you can't, or excuse me, that was Jordheim, but you can't take him off his route. He's so big and strong.
Christian under pressure, hangs in there, fires. Goddard again has a catch, down to the 13-yard line. And just like that, the Jacks knocking on the door. Plenty of time left here in the first half.
It's been the Dallas Goddard show. He's been the man open. He's been outside. He's been inside. And the way that he's able to have the time to jump as many zones, if you will, it's just so hard to guard a guy that big. You can't take him off his route. He's open over the middle. He's a big target. Christian knows where he's at.
Goddard 5 catches for 98 yards already. Taron Christian has 243 passing yards here in the first half. Christian going to take off and run here before he is taken down after a gain of 3 yards. Trey Dempsey making the tackle for NDSU. South Dakota State will take a timeout.
Yeah, they'll talk about it here. Not let too many more seconds roll off the clock. This is the last play in the Nodak Insurance Company replay. Design quarterback run. Christian is hoping the inside opens up a little bit more. Dempsey did not allow that, came down and smacked the quarterback down. Jacks inside the 10 once again. But the speed at which this Jackrabbit offense can put pressure back on, get the Bison defense in this case on their heels so far today has been impressive. here, I always look to see where's number 19 going. One-on-one at the 10, closest to the camera. A lot of touchdowns on fade routes.
Christian gets rid of it, complete. Kate Johnson makes the reception, keeps fighting. Down to about the 1, and that'll be enough for a first down. First and goal for the Jacks. Clock stops here as the first down marker gets reset, and South Dakota State will go quickly. Across the middle, incomplete. Jacob Brown, the intended target. Dom Davis on the coverage, and then a flag came in very late.
Well, it's a hold. It's a defensive hold. Brown tugged on his jersey. We saw where the Bison did not get calls in their advantage earlier in this first half. That is a definite hold.
Pass interference, defense number 2, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
That'll move the ball ahead about a foot.
Here's the isolation, a cut inside, and you'll see the jersey get pulled from both the front side and the back side. You're right, though. It did come in late, the flag.
Christian out of the shotgun. Quarterback design run, gonna dart outside. He's got room, and he's in for a South Dakota State touchdown.
Nodak Insurance Company replay. Christian gets to the outside. At this point, he's one-on-one with Dempsey. Dempsey was not allowed really to get himself squared to where the runner was coming. He had to work his way around Goddard. Too much room. Taryn Christian for the touchdown.
Vinatieri on for the extra point. He puts that through, and the Jacks take advantage of a late turnover here in the first half by North Dakota State and have extended the lead to 17-7 with 12 seconds to go.
What a big turnaround. The Bison are getting something going. They take the shot downfield. Quarterback, receiver not on the same page. Interception. Goddard down inside the 10, and the Jacks are able to work the lead to 10.
Taryn Christian, 15 of 21 for 251 yards passing here in the first half alone.
Well, this is what Taryn Christian looked like last week. He was carving up Western as well.
Scoring recap brought to you by Bobcat. 5 plays, 60 yards, and minute 28 as Taryn Christian takes it in for the touchdown. His 6th rushing touchdown of the season. North Dakota State will have to come from behind here in the second half. They want to win in Brookings. Another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planning season with Peterson Farm Seed. Dimitri Williams from his own goal line. Almost broke free and then drilled by the kicker. Vinatieri at about the 27.
Well, Ethan Bullock, or no, that was Jarek Berg, who was already holding on around the waist, and then Vinatieri does get a pretty good shot in at the end. It's good form by the kicker, too.
South Dakota State has about 7 players deep. SDSU just content to run it with Anderson, who gets taken down after a gain of 4, and the first half will run out. And the home team finishes that first half with some momentum. A Taryn Christian rushing touchdown from a yard out with under 30 seconds to go, and the Jacks lead it 17-7 as we head to halftime. Stay tuned for the Proceed halftime report. Beth Houle and Alex Egan standing by, but Ryan Geller standing by with Chris Kleiman.
Only 30 minutes.
Well, we'll come back. We'll be ready to play second half.
Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Now we'll take a break. Stay tuned for the Proceed halftime report. Beth Hool, Alex Enoch standing by. All right, back here in Brookings, getting ready for the second half of play between North Dakota State and South Dakota State. 107th meeting between these two teams in a rivalry that started back in 1903. Let's take a look at some of your first half highlights. Taryn Christian across the middle that time to Jacob Brown. Got scoring, started right away for South Dakota State on its opening drive. SDSU put it together, a 12-play, 88-yard drive. Connor Wentz, the touchdown reception, tied the game after Chase Vinatieri field goal and an Easton Stick interception late in the first half. Taryn Christian from a yard out. And the Jacks extended their lead to 10. The Bison will have the football first, and that man, number 42 right there, is now eligible to play after missing the first half due to a targeting call in the second half last week against Northern Iowa.
Well, the Bison certainly hope that his size, athleticism, and strength makes a difference, because I don't know if he goes right on Dallas Goddard right off the bat, but Dallas Goddard ran free quite a bit in that first half, especially in the second quarter. Jackrabbits had 165 total yards in the second quarter on 20 plays, so there were some big plays in there. Real important possession for NDSU.
Vinatieri puts the toe to it. Dimitri Williams will take it from his own one. And Williams has a lane this time. Williams to the outside and across the 35 to the 40-yard line. So the Bison finally get some decent field position here to start off the second half.
Well, I think it was Seth Wilson that got a real nice block on the edge. Number 30, watch him, and he comes into your screen. He gets a little pop right there, and it opens up that seam on the Nodak Insurance Company replay. And the Bison have right here what they didn't have most of that first half. Good starting field position.
So we'll see what North Dakota State does with it. And again, LTU and I had talked off camera. Just 2 rush yards in that second quarter for North Dakota State.
Yeah, four rushing yards. Yep.
Seth Wilson getting the carry and taken down for a loss of 2 on the play. And coming in to make that tackle was Logan Backhouse. Let's throw it down to Ryan Gellner on the sidelines with us. Ryan.
Hi guys, a First International Bank and Trust sideline report. Chris Kleiman at halftime focused his comments on both the offensive line and the defensive line for North Dakota State. He told the troops, he said, if we're the best lines in the conference, we need to come out and play like that. He really challenged both sides of the football. Guys?
All right, thank you, Ryan. And we'll see if they can respond. Stick under pressure, got on a 1 tackle, and then is dropped by a couple of Jackrabbits back at the 33-yard line. Spencer Hildahl got in there for the sack.
But the first guy there, Brian, was Backhouse, the guy who just made the tackle previous play. Back-to-back plays here by Backhouse, who missed the last 2 weeks with an ankle injury. And here he's coming out on this first drive and influencing the defense here for the Jackrabbits.
Take a look at that quarterback comparison brought to you by the North Dakota Beef Commission for Easton Stick. 7 of 15, the costly interception. Did have the 1 long passing play to Darius Shepard. 3rd and long for North Dakota State. Plenty of time. Shepard at the 50. Hung on to it, I think, and has enough for a Bison first down to the 46 of South Dakota State. Good enough for 20 yards on a 3rd and 18.
When you go backwards on your first 2 plays, 3rd and long is what an offense does not want to have happen. But Stick there was able to step in, had real good time, no pass rush this time. Shepard was needing to get past midfield. He did it by 4 yards. First down, an important first down for NDSU.
Backhouse makes the tackle. Inside handoff, bounced outside. Flag comes in as Anderson stays on his feet, pushed out of bounds at the 37 by Balster, but again, a flag comes in right away. And Bryce Mesner is pointing at South Dakota State.
He was on the back half of the play.
Holding. Defense number 94. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So defensive holding on Kellen Solik.
I don't know if you saw Mesner in that particular play, but he was going over backwards because Solik had almost like a horse collar on the back of his jersey and was pulling the big man down backwards.
So now, just like that, North Dakota State all the way down to the 27-yard line. Ty Brooks gets the handoff this time. Rosaboom closes quickly for a gain of 3.
Talked about that a little bit in the first half, how Stick is altering who he's reading. For the most part today, he's switching and reading Rosaboom, the middle linebacker in that particular instance. Rosaboom did not take the fake. Stick thought he was a little further outside than he was, but he was still in on the tackle. He is such an active guy on the defense.
Stick will throw. Down the seam, Ty Brooks! He's got it! Touchdown!
Well, we know Rosaboom can tackle everything in sight, but we just found out there that he can't cover everything in sight. Rosaboom got behind on the play, right up the seam. Ty Brooks is able to corral it and get in for an all-important touchdown. Very important, I thought, for the Bison to score on this opening drive, given the fact they gave up the late touchdown in the second quarter. Nice design play to isolate the linebacker.
Peterson on for the extra point. Puts it through, and the lead is down to 3. North Dakota State answers on its opening possession of the second half and lead it by 3. We'll step aside. 11:53 to go here in the third quarter. In 2015, Carson Wentz at starting quarterback. Threw for a couple scores, ran in for a score. The Bison jumped out to an early first half lead and never looked back en route to a 28-7 victory over the Jets.
Yeah, that was a game where Carson really in the quarterback run game. Of course, Brock Jensen had some really good run game stuff too against South Dakota State.
Peterson, the Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planning season, Peterson Farm Seed. Boy, some popping going on down there, but pretty good return on the play that time for South Dakota State. Mikey Daniel was able to shrug off a tackle and get up to the 30-yard line.
This is Jackson Brown, will be first man down. He really engages the blocker and almost brings down Daniel, but we know that he's a big, strong kid. He's able to fight through that and then planking others.
Take a look at your North Dakota Beef Commission quarterback numbers for Taryn Christian. Had a big first half, 15 of 21 for 251 yards, ran for a score, passed for a score, and 98 of those yards and 5 of those receptions went to number 86, Dallas Goddard.
Bison just have to find a way to get off the field here.
Mangarelli trying to find some room and was able to find some room, gained 6 yards up to the 36. Trey Dempsey, Jalen Allison helps make that tackle for North Dakota State.
Again, this is technically a pass because it was thrown up underneath. It wasn't a handoff, but Winicky does a pretty good job. He's locked up on Robbie Grimsley. He helps move Grimsley off the play. And to the wide side of the field, the Bison stretch it fairly well, but still give up about 6.
Mangarelli. Levi Jortheim closes quickly, a yard short of a first down. Will bring up 3rd and 1.
I thought Jalen Allison broke off as well to help get in on that tackle and to keep him from getting the first down, forcing 3rd. Those two guys combining on the tackle.
South Dakota State in that first half, just 2 of 6 on 3rd down, well below the 56% they average on the season. Mikey Daniel has the first down and a lot more to midfield, down to the 43 of North Dakota State.
Interesting look in the backfield with Goddard as kind of a blocking fullback on this particular play. big time hold. If you didn't see that, that's what I was looking at when the play was going on. Jerseys being stretched. But we've seen both of these teams be very physical at the point of attack.
So the Jacks able to move the ball into Bison territory. Christian fires on target. Jacob Brown beat the corner blitz, that time from Dom Davis. Gained 6 yards.
Davis sneaking down the line of scrimmage, and Christian saw him come and was able to release it fast enough. You go to where the hot route is. The hot route is where the blitz was coming from. He's able to beat the blitz.
Christian going to keep it this time and hit pretty hard by Robbie Grimsley. Again, about a yard short of a first down.
Grimsley whipping that arm around. That means probably something, a little bit of a stinger type of deal going down his shoulder. He smacks that right shoulder into the quarterback. Oh, yeah.
Robbie Grimsley waving people off, saying, I don't need a substitution, I'm playing. 3rd and 1.
Tell you what, he probably right now doesn't even feel anything in his right hand, and he doesn't care.
Oops. And somebody jumped there for the Jacks.
Papungatoa, left guard.
Just the way he was jumping, it looked like a designed run for Taryn Christian. So a 3rd and 1 goes to a 3rd and 6.
Obviously changes the play call, but it might change the mindset of Coach Stig and his staff too, because if the Bison held there on that yard, it just seems like the way the Jackrabbits offense is going, they probably would have went for it.
Somebody jumped again. I think it was Papungatoa again. Taking back 5 more.
Well, they actually called the center on that play, but I thought you and I saw the same guy move at the same time. That was left guard. Mona Sorgi, the center, is the one who was called. He's a senior, 3-year captain.
So now 3rd and 11. South Dakota State, 10th best, you would say, in penalty yards. Fewest yardage per game. They are 10th in the nation. Mangarelli, the single setback. Christian throws, fires a little bit low. Was it hung on to or not? The official says yes. Jacob Brown hung on to it, but I think he's going to be short of a first down by about a yard.
Right back to that situation before the penalty. I think the Jackrabbits will stay on the field and go for it.
Let's take a look at this again.
Kodak Insurance Company replay. Does the ball come down and hit the turf? Juggle.
Oh boy, I think that's out. That's on the turf. They should look at that.
Seemed like it was on the turf. Unless he kept that left arm underneath there, it doesn't matter. 4th down.
Daniel, did he get it? It's going to be close. Boy, it's going to be close. I don't know. Depends on the spot.
I thought the official closest to us had it marked shorter than the guy furthest from us.
Oh, huge measurement coming up here. I think he needed the 32. I'm not sure he got the 32. He's short. Length of the football or more. So the Bison defense holds.
Bison find a way with some help from a couple of Jackrabbit turnovers, made it 4th and short. The Jacks needed a yard. They could not get it. Huge stop by the NDSU defense.
So now the offense right back on the field with some momentum. Stick play action, taking a shot. Overshot his intended target, R.J. Erzendowski. Small window open there, but
it was open though. It was open, and Stick threw it too high to give his top receiver the opportunity to catch it. Little false pull action, showing the run. Yeah, there was a chance for that to get there. Just sailed a little too high.
Stick, quarterback keeper, bouncing outside, he lost the ball! Picked up by South Dakota State. Romanesco, I think, came up with it for the Jacks.
Multiple players still down on the field. I actually thought NDSU had a tight end that made it came out a little bit early. That play wasn't called. Nodak Insurance Company replay. Stick gets the ball stripped. That's Solik, number 94. Romanesco scoops it up.
We'll take a quick timeout, step aside as they sort out the injuries here at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium. Today's game is sponsored by Gate City Bank. Gate City Bank has been serving customers and investing in a better way of life since 1923 with 36 locations in 19 communities across North Dakota and western Minnesota. Jacks with the football at the Bison 30. Christian will throw, has time in the pocket, a lot of room to run. Christian inside the 20, slides down at about the 17-yard line, has it up for a first down.
Christian is usually pretty good about not taking a big hit. Boy, that middle opened wide open. Both safeties giving over-the-top help on the wide side. That's another one of the reasons the middle of the field was so wide open.
So Christian will operate out of the shotgun here on 1st and 10. Fires across the middle and complete. And getting down to the 5-yard line is Marquise Lewis. Ryan Gellner on the sidelines has an update on an injury. Ryan?
Yeah, guys, Austin Kunert was the player that was down for North Dakota State on the turnover. The good news is he walked off on his own power. He waved off medical attention, went and sat with his brothers on the offensive line in their meeting. So it looks like, at least for now, he's probable to come back. Guys?
Spencer Hildahl was the South Dakota State Jackrabbit injured, and he had to come off with some assistance. Looked like an ankle injury. 1st and goal at the 5. Christian quick roll back to the end zone. Nobody open. He will throw it away.
I always think of a Chris Carter. I actually heard explain one time why he caught so many touchdowns at the back of the end zone. He says nobody guards the last 2 yards deep of the end zone. That's where Winicky was trying to get open. That's where Christian was trying to find him. But just remember that the next time you watch, you see it a lot in the NFL. Touchdowns in the back of the end zone. It's tough to stay that deep as a defender.
Mikey Daniel in at tailback. He's going to get the carry. Daniel, I think, got across. Touchdown.
Daniel finishes the run, but South Dakota State gets max points today so far on the Bison turnovers. Interception was a touchdown late in the first half. A fumble here is a touchdown from Daniel as he bowls his way over.
Confirming, I believe, upstairs that he did indeed get across, but it did appear that Daniel did reach across the plane of the end zone before the knee went down.
Yeah, I sure thought it looked that way as well, but the replay officials will always confirm turnovers and scoring plays. But I think you could see by that last run why Mikey Daniels kind of turned into that short yardage guy. I mean, they list him at 220. He looks bigger. He's thick, shoulder square, pad level down, knee down as the ball across. There's where you have to figure out the question. On the field, it was ruled touchdown.
Tough to overturn it. Need indisputable visual evidence. Here's another look.
It'll stand, I think.
Daniel, his 9th rushing touchdown of the season. And the Jacks have extended the lead back to 9 with the extra point pending. Straight through for Vinatieri, and it's a 24-14 game. And we will step aside. 5:45 to go here in the third quarter. 24-14 Jacks on the Egg Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. Back here in Brookings, today's game is sponsored by Gate City Bank, and for a limited time only, receive $700 off your mortgage closing costs. For more details, visit gatecitybank.com/betterhomeloans. Jacks on a 5-yard touchdown run from Mikey Daniel has extended the lead back to 10 with 5:45 to go here in the third quarter. See how the Bison offense can respond after the Easton Stick fumble.
Well, a big special teams play, forcing a turnover, something that the Bison need to do to get back the 2 they gave away.
Vinatieri, pretty good kick this time. Williams 4 yards deep as he runs to the corner of his end zone. Will take a knee, and the Bison will start it. This drive at the 25. Ryan Geller on the sidelines has an update. There is a flag on the field. This is on North Dakota State. It'll push them inside the 20.
The result of the kickoff was a touchback. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 35 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal, 1st and 10.
That will go on Josh Hayes, the true freshman. Second penalty on him today, and now the Bison will be backed up inside their own 15.
What are the 2 things you do not want to do when you're on the road? Turn the ball over and have penalties. That's why it's a 10-point home team lead so far.
SDSU from the 12. Ty Brooks squeaks through a hole. Brooks showing off that home run speed across the 30 to the 32-yard line, gain of 20.
Boy, a whole lot of determination in this Nodak Insurance Company replay. Pads forward, absorbs 1 hit, and then coming from the sideline, takes another one and gets in about another 5 yards after the second contact. Solid run there by Ty Brooks.
And really a run that the Bison needed to get out from deep in their own end zone, or territory, I should say. Desmond Kane motions. Seth Wilson. Nowhere to go, back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. Looked like Austin Smenda was one of the first Jackrabbits there. Ryan Geller on the sidelines has an update for us on some other Missouri Valley games
Guys,
of
there
interest.
is some good news for Bison fans when you start scoreboard watching. Northern Iowa leading South Dakota with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, 27-23. Although the Coyotes do have the football. A couple other scores: Missouri State leads Southern Illinois 33-28. Youngstown and Western Illinois. Western Illinois beat Illinois State, guys.
All right, thank you so much. Stick able to gain 3 to the 35, and another third down coming up, and there is a Jackrabbit down on the turf.
think it was the guy who made the tackle. Maybe not. That's Austin Barnett, isn't it?
Austin Barrett, I think, the 6'2 redshirt freshman out of Box Elder, South Dakota. And they will attend to him.
Not a single one.
Take a look here on the Nodak Insurance Company replay.
Read option.
Looked like he got hit by his own guy.
Yeah.
Is that Backhouse that came in? Looked like it.
Yep. Looks like he got hit on the back of the head. Oh yeah, his neck gets jammed right into the hip of his teammate. Good news is he's setting up, I believe, at this point.
North Dakota State 5 of 8 on third down today. They've come up with some big ones. They're going to need one here. Try to keep that South Dakota State offense off the field. Looks like Barrett heading to the sidelines under his own power. Hopefully he'll be all right.
Unfortunately for the Bison, 3rd and long has happened a few too many times today to this point.
Ticking down towards 4 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Ty Brooks will line up in the slot. Stick. Hangs on to it, now fires high and intercepted. The Jacks got another one, this one taken by Micaiah Slade and pushed out of bounds by Dallas Freeman all the way at the 38-yard line. My goodness.
Unfortunately for Easton, it's been his pattern. When he pump fakes the second time and throws over the middle, it has sailed high. It happened last week, it was intercepted. It happens here, it is intercepted. Nodak Insurance Company replay, his feet are not set. He sails it over Roseboom, over Shepard, right to the Jackrabbits.
1st and 10, Jacks leading by 10 at the Bison 35. Defense really has to come up for a stop here now for NDSU. Mengarelli. Looks like quarterback throwback, but now Mengarelli in trouble and is going to be taken down way back at the 36 for a loss of 1. Looked like it was Aaron Steidel that made the tackle, and good recognition that time, I think, by Jabril Cox.
Exactly.
To get back in cover, Taryn Christian.
That is the guy who was not fooled, and that's the guy the Bison were hoping, or excuse me, the Jackrabbits were hoping wasn't fooled. So excellent job, the recognition there by number 42 Cox. You're seeing right there, hung with the quarterback. Mengarelli was stopping, and I think he wanted to chuck it deep to his quarterback, but also I think did a good job of not forcing it and then eating the couple of yards.
Mengarelli has lane to run, and Mengarelli runs over Jalen Wimbush inside the 25 to the 22. Gain of 15, and good enough for a Jackrabbit 1st down.
That's the best running play from a running back today from South Dakota State.
Christian quickly will throw as Caleb Butler gives chase. Fires high, and boy, a dangerous pass as Goddard. And Jalen Allison collided at about the 10-yard line.
That's a dangerous play for Allison because Goddard's close to 270 pounds, and he's throwing himself in there. Nodak Insurance Company replay. I think Christian's looking for Goddard right there, but DeLuca got back to cover it. Boy, and he threw himself head and shoulders right into the big man.
Allison goes just 184 pounds. Goddard, 260.
Listed 260. He might be bigger than that.
Christian again to throw, now getting flushed out. Dumps it off incomplete. Looked like Anderson was his intended target. Christian getting up a little bit slowly.
Both linebackers came on that play. The guy who got the hit, you see him, Jordheim. Also, Nick DeLuca was in on that. So the Bison are obviously having to do some, it's almost desperate times here toward the end of the third after another turnover, forcing Christian, the quarterback, to throw it away.
Third and 10 for the Jacks. Empty formation here for Christian. Screen, caught by Goddard, but sniffed out by Stanley Jones, and Goddard taken down for a loss of 1.
Jones playing that almost like a defensive back, kept his inside arm free, tried to knock the ball away, and when he couldn't, he was right there on the tackle. It's a good job. Excellent recognition there by the defensive end from Bismarck High.
41-yard field goal attempt here coming up for Chase Vinatieri, who's already connected once today from 21 yards. This will be from 41. Down, up, looks right down the middle, plenty of leg, and it's perfect. So the Jacks take advantage of the stick interception, add 3 more, and it's 27-14 with 1:47 to go here in the third quarter.
So South Dakota State gets a couple of touchdowns and now a field goal off of those turnovers.
Still time here for North Dakota State in this football game, but the next couple of drives very, very critical here for NDSU. As LT had mentioned and I had mentioned, turnovers have played a big part in this football game. The Jacks have yet to turn it over. North Dakota State with 3. That intercepted from Jordan Brown, and then stick stripped by Kellen Solik. Romanesco came up with the recovery. And in this last drive, stick fired high over the middle, and Micaiah Slade comes up with the pick. Vinatieri will put the toe to it. Time for another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planning season with Peterson Farm Seed. This one driven 7 yards deep, and Williams takes a knee. So LT, if you're North Dakota State, you're offensively, how do you try to get your quarterback in offense in a rhythm?
You're also running out of possessions too. I know we haven't hit the fourth quarter yet. You know, and usually for NDSU, that rhythm is all based off the running game. Well, the running game hasn't really been there today, and probably now you don't have enough time to be too heavy into the run when you need 3 scores.
Take a look at
I did not answer your question, did I?
Let's take a look at your Bobcats scoring a recap. 6 plays and 11 yards in 2 minutes and 2 seconds as Vinatieri connects. Stick to throw. Desmond Kane wide open. Makes the catch on the sideline and slipped down trying to cut back, but still a good gain of 19 on first down up to the 44.
Well, Stick's been trying to get the ball to that window. He's thrown it high a couple of times. This time he really puts it in there well. Kane behind the corner, playing in a zone, and in front of the safety who can't get there.
Desmond Kane has speed. Transfer from Illinois. He can get in the secondary deep. Anderson, nowhere. Maybe a yard. 4 different jackrabbits at the bottom of that pile. Ryan Arith at the bottom of it.
And I have not watched all of South Dakota State's games this year, but this has to be the best that the defensive line has played all year. It just has to be with the way that those front 4 have gotten some pressure at times on Stick. They meaning the Jacks don't blitz a lot.
North Dakota State 97 rush yards so far here today. Stick is going to keep it. A couple of yards up to the 47.
Who's run down from behind. In that particular instance, it was a little bit of pressure. That was a designed blitz to go against the run.
We'll see if SDSU decides to snap it before the fourth quarter. They do not have to. It appears the Bison will be content to head to the fourth quarter. 3rd and 7, a critical play coming up here to start the fourth. But it is the fourth quarter, so hold up your 4 because it's the 4 for 4 from Petro Serve USA. Get a pizza, 2 cookies, and a drink for $4 at all 22 Petro Serve USA locations. We're back to Brookings in a moment. It's been a while since John Stiegelmeier and SDSU has beaten SDSU here in Brookings. You have to go back to 2009. Jacks 15 minutes away from handing SDSU its first loss of the season. Bison 3rd and 7 from the 47. Comes pressure, Stick trying to elude it, gets away, and now fires, incomplete. Shepard the intended target.
Boy, Stick did such a good job to survive the pressure, and his feet kept the play alive as he's able to roll out the flat. Here's dual pressure. Both the running back and Kunert pick up one guy, the other guy's free. Stick tries to just sing it in there, and on the move he couldn't. A little too low, threw the fastball too low.
So Jackson Kuntz will come out for the punt. Try to pin the Jacks deep. This one sails to the 15, it's dropped. Who got on top of it? They're still trying to fight at the bottom of the pile. Bison say they got it.
Oh, SDSU desperately needs a turnover.
Oh, there's a lot of people down there. Oh, the Bison got it. Oh, boy.
Winbush, I think, came up with the ball.
Anderson was the one that muffed it. And Winbush did rip it away. As we take a look at the Nodak Insurance replay.
Winbush was the where the play was open. He saw it open a little bit behind Kunert on the right side, but then by the time he got there, it closed after a pickup of about 3.
As we'll spread it out now. 3 receivers to the high side of your screen. Quarterback draw for Stick. Working off the block. Stick to the 5. Easton Stick, touchdown. And just like that, North Dakota State is right back in the football game with 13:56 to go.
You mentioned the 3 receivers to the wide side of the field, no tight end on the boundary either. So you're saying to Bruce Anderson, if you don't get the block, we don't get the score. Anderson not only got the block of the first guy, he influenced the corner as well. So he got a piece of the safety, influenced the corner. Stick got the touchdown. Great job, number 8.
Peterson on for the extra point. He knocks it through, and the Bison within 6 with 13:56 to go. Don't go anywhere. We're set for a good finish here in Brookings. Stick taking it in for the touchdown from 11 yards out. Welcome back to Brookings. Today's game is sponsored by Gate City Bank. Show your Bison pride with an NDSU Gate City Bank ATM and check card. Visit gatecitybank.com/mycard. Western Illinois has beaten Illinois State today. South Dakota has lost at home to Northern Iowa today. So every team in the league now has at least 2 conference losses.
Except North Dakota State.
So if the Bison can win today, they've essentially clinched at least a share of the Valley. Not much room. Flag coming in late. The Bison got some fire. Desmond Kane coming in to make that special teams tackle.
But really, it was Dimitri Williams that got down there first that helps bowl the runner back to the middle of the field, bubbled him back, and strung the play out.
The play was over by the time the restriction occurred. First down, South Dakota State.
So the flag is picked up, but the Jacks still backed up to the 14. And the Illinois transfers made a couple of big plays here in the second half.
Well, NDSU got a break in the special teams. The Bison have yet to do it defensively now. For the Bison, the time is now.
Christian, time, deep across the middle, and almost intercepted and tipped off. Wenicky, the intended target, was overthrown. Bring up 2nd and 10. Jacks taking a shot there on first down.
That was about as covered as well as you can downfield, and I know Jalen Allison looks like he's holding the shoulder or something a little bit. He was on his hip.
Let's take a look at that Bobcat scoring recap. Did not take long after the fumbled punt return by Adam Anderson. 2 plays, 14 yards. A Stick runs it in from 11 yards out.
Again, Stick gets the touchdown, but the attaboy goes to Bruce Anderson on the blocking.
Jabril Cox. Mengarelli slipped out of a tackle. Drags a couple of Bison players to the 24, and he has enough for a first down. DeLuca in on that stop.
It's a big bonus for the Jacks to get anything out of the running game. It hasn't been great. You saw DeLuca make a big jump to his left, and that helped clear things out because the blocker stayed with him. Nick couldn't close that man out and then get his shoulders into the running back.
Hand up again, goes to Mengarelli, this time taken down by DeLuca. Football loose! Oh no, they're going to call whistle it down. Official came right in and said no after a gain of about 4.
But I tell you, that play right there, this is why the NFL is interested in DeLuca. You see him close and make the close, and definitely the ball, the ground caused the fumble. But DeLuca is able to make a reaction, get in there, one arm strong, pulls the man down. Right call, not a fumble.
Pressure coming. Christian flushed. Christian still alive. Now dumped off, and Jacob Brown is wide open and makes the catch, push out of bounds by Dom Davis at the 40. The elusiveness of Taryn Christian paying dividends for the Jacks.
This is the stuff you cannot teach. DeLuca almost has him. And then here comes Cox, thinks, oh, I got a chance at him. And he's able to get the pass off. And a Jackrabbit first down. Oh, the Bison had a great chance to get him there, but his feet created the turnover, or the first down.
First and 10 SDSU, 11.5 minutes to go. Christian, run pass option. Sneaks out of one tackle and gets what he can. Gains about 5 yards to the 45. Levi Jordheim in on that stop.
He's in on that stop, but he's going to stay on the sideline. He came up, I think, kind of trying to flex a knee. Nodak Insurance Company replay will check the tail end of this as Jordheim runs down Christian from behind, but Levi did go off right after this particular play. I don't know if he jammed a knee into the turf or something like that.
Give Christian 6 on that carry, so 2nd and 4.
And Mercadal is in at linebacker.
Angarelli again. Room to run to the outside. Inside Bison territory. Isaac Wallace got the carry that time. Trey Dempsey pushes him out of bounds at the 39. Just the 3rd carry of the day for Wallace, and the Jacks finding some running lanes here in the 4th quarter.
Tremendous job by Jeanette and someone else that took, combo blocked on DeLuca, took DeLuca out of the play and allowed the run, the big run, to happen.
This drive started back at the Jackrabbit 14.
Did I think the Jackrabbits were able to get something like this done on the ground? No, it's been a big plus on this drive for SDSU.
Wallace again. Almost ran out of a Robbie Grimsley tackle. That's 7 more yards.
Garrett's coming right at you. Jabril Cox stays with Goddard. Grimsley with the first hit, then a few more yards after contact.
Well, any sort of points here for the Jacks will extend it to a 2-possession game once again. 9.5 to go. Wallace, not much that time. Just short of the 30-yard line, at 3rd and a long 1.
Nate Tangway coming down the line, keeping his inside shoulder free, forcing the 3rd down. Matt Plank in at linebacker now. He'll play the middle. DeLuca will go to the outside.
Lusher, the fullback. And a flag comes out. Somebody moved early for South Dakota State.
They're still pushing and shoving well after, I was going to say after the play, but it was a play that never even happened.
False start. Offense number 86. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Goddard. That not only changes the situation, but the personnel, certainly for NDSU here.
Cole Karch comes in to play defensive tackle, especially since it's not a short yard situation. Steidel goes out.
Inside handoff, Wallace. Gain 2 to the 34, 5 yards short of a 1st down. Well, the Jacks leave the offense on the field, you'd have to think so.
Yeah, that was Caleb Butler that did a great job coming from his defensive end again. Yeah, you're staring at a 50-yarder. I know that Vinatieri has a long of 51.
Jacks out rushing NDSU in the game now, 122 to 113. 4th and 4. Christian, cross the middle, complete. Wenicky makes the reception and gets to the 20-yard line, converting for the Jacks on 4th down. That is the first time a team has converted a 4th down conversion against NDSU this season.
Nodak Insurance Company replay, ISO. There's the little bit of a clear out. You see Brown slice through there. Allison had to make just a little bit of an adjustment because of Brown going up the seam, and that little bit of adjustment was enough to allow Wenicky to get open and his quarterback to find him.
Just the 2nd catch of the day for Jake Wenicky, but it's a big one for SDSU. Christian fires. One-handed catch for Goddard, touchdown.
One thing you do not need to do when you have Winicky and Goddard is throw the perfect pass for them to catch it. And Goddard got a hand on it and corralled it. Cox had decent coverage, actually really good coverage, and he one hand tips it to himself. I know the touchdown comes through the air, but what South Dakota State just did on the ground there was pretty impressive.
And South Dakota State going for 2, trying to make it a 14-point game. 2 tight ends, Kavanaugh and Goddard. Oh, inside handoff. And Christian, unbelievable.
Razzle dazzle. An inside handoff option back to the quarterback. Handoff, handoff. Goddard feels everyone come. You pitch it back to Christian, and he gets his way into the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
So now a 14-point lead with 7:06 to go for South Dakota State. Touchdown reception by Goddard, 19 yards out. Goddard obviously having a huge day, 7 receptions, 116 yards, and a touchdown. Take a look at that scoring recap brought to you by Bobcat. 11 plays, 86 yards. 4th down conversion, a couple of big 3rd down conversions. Took 6:41 off the clock. And that guy right there has been tough for SDSU to corral today.
He certainly has, but I mean, the running game picked up a bulk of that 80-some yard drive as well. I didn't think today I would see that the Jackrabbits able to run the ball in the 4th quarter against SDSU. I didn't think it was going to happen. It just happened on that scoring drive.
22 first downs for South Dakota State. Back to live action. Dimitri Williams, a long kickoff return all the way down to the Jackrabbit 30, but a flag back at the 28. And while we were away, they were looking, this is the kickoff, but while we were away, they were looking at whether Taryn Christian was down before he got in. They determined he was down. So it's 33-21, not 35-21, as we originally thought.
Now here on the Nodak Insurance Company replay, this is what was looked at. The pitch from Goddard, does his knee come down before the ball crosses?
Yes, it does.
And as the officials upstairs looked again and looked and looked and looked at it a bunch of different times, they said no on the 2-point conversion. So SDSU down 12. And another big play taken off the board on the kick return by a penalty.
Instead of having the ball at the 30, the Bison backed up to their own 12. Stick will throw. Shepard took a shot but hung on at the 30-yard line. Good enough for a Bison first down, gain of 17.
That play is going to be open repeatedly because the Jackrabbit safeties right now are playing so soft. There is a gap behind the linebackers to where the safeties are from 12 to 15 yards deep. Stick just has to have time and able to get it. You'll see it here. Nodak Insurance Company replay. Look at Shep, wide open in the middle, and he found it.
Stick to throw again, dumps it off across the middle, caught. And that is Seth Wilson making the reception, the true freshman out of Wisconsin. Gains a bunch, gain of 19 up to the 49.
Wilson got himself isolated on a linebacker, made an inside cut. Stick hit him in stride. Wilson around the outside, boom, nice little cut inside, up the seam, back-to-back big plays.
Stick time, now running out of time. Keeping his eyes downfield, dumps it off. Shepard makes another catch, has another first down to the 37.
I think that's Rosaboom getting up really slow, but he did get up. Stick had a couple of different options. He had Wentz open to the wide side of where he scrambled to, but then he saw right here that Shepard has nobody else around him. Linebacker trailing the play. Rosaboom on the tackle. Another first down. Big chunks of yards on 3 plays in a row.
Stick dumped off again. Wilson makes the catch, gets to the 30, gains 7. How about the true freshman getting extended reps here in crunch time?
Well, after he absorbs that first hit, the thing I'm thinking, ball security, make sure that second arm is around that ball.
Bison going quickly, Stick back to work. Under pressure and taken down.
Well, what's the one thing that young Mr. Wilson has not been able to practice much? Pass pro. He just got beat here on the rush. Left side, number 30, needs to pick up the linebacker, or the defensive end. Can't do it well enough. Sack.
Smenda comes in to make that sack. 3rd sack of the day for South Dakota State. 3rd and 9. Stick has some time, fires, tight window, caught, I think, by Dallas Freeman. Good enough for a first down to the 22, and Freeman still down. Now getting up.
3 different Jackrabbits converge. Excellent job of holding on to that ball. Rosaboom's the last guy here and probably hits him the hardest, but Stick really fit that thing well. Then Rosaboom hits him on top of the head.
Stick. Open receiver again is Shepard. Backhouse, football's loose. Jack's got it. Mason Lisa.
The underneath ball, trying to make a play happen. Football comes out, and a senior from Hayti, not far from here, Mason Lyseth, coming away with the ball. It's ripped out of there.
We'll step aside, 3:56 to go. Today's game is sponsored by Gate City Bank, and for a limited time only, receive $700 off your mortgage closing costs. For more details, visit gatecitybank.com/betterhomeloans. That's the guy that stripped it.
It's Marshawn Harris. He's a sophomore. Second man in. First guy gets the player. Second guy goes for the ball. The ball comes out. Lyseth jumps on it. And turnovers have been the story of the day for North Dakota State.
And the running game. Mengarelli, 6 more yards on first down. Again, we talked about it coming in. 9 out of the last 10 times. North Dakota State has outrushed South Dakota State. The one time they didn't, the Jacks won.
Yep, they lost, yeah. Of course, the Jackrabbits now huddling up, not breaking till the 10-second mark. They are in maximum time-eating mode.
Mengarelli again. Oh boy, Brady Mengarelli bouncing off tacklers. Wimbush finally comes up with the stop at the 40-yard line, and the Jacks move the chains again. Ryan Gellner on the sidelines has an update for us. Ryan.
Hi guys, Levi Jordheim has ice on his left knee. It's on the back side of the knee. He is questionable at best to return to this football game. It's not good news on the Bison sideline, guys.
All right, thanks. And at this point for Levi, you just hope it's nothing more serious then something he can come back from here in a week or two.
Yeah, remember earlier in his career, he did have a severe knee injury as well.
This time Mengarelli swarmed under, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And NDSU will call its first timeout. Total yardage today, South Dakota State 469 total, NDSU 337.
There's a look at Levi from Dickinson. Such an important player for this Bison defense because Levi has played all three linebacking positions throughout the course of this year, knows the assignments for all three. He's a junior, third on the team in tackles. Second in the FCS in fumble recoveries. He had 3 of them last week.
Actually tied an NDSU single game record set by Don Meyer back in 1976.
Mengarelli's showing the reason why he's averaging over 7 yards a carry. He has not been brought down on first contact.
11 carries, 57 yards so far here today for Mengarelli. Now Mikey Daniel working around a couple of blocks. Flag comes in late, so this may be coming back.
Number 41, 10-yard penalty, remains their first down.
The fullback with a tackle.
Usher. This copyrighted broadcast is property of North Dakota State University. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or distribution without the consent of NDSU is strictly prohibited. There's a look at the Dakota marker. South Dakota State, 2 minutes and 25 seconds away from claiming it for the second straight year.
Well, a rivalry is not a rivalry until both teams win.
Nowhere to go this time for Mengarelli, and he was buried.
And Coach Kleiman will use his timeout here. 1 left.
Jabril Cox in on that stop.
South Dakota State and North Dakota State kind of, when you look at the schedule, in similar paths in terms of the gauntlet of the conference, because next week the Bison have USD. Next week the Jackrabbits have Illinois State, and then they'll flip-flop for the last game of the regular season.
And again, after today, North Dakota State will still be alone in first place of the Missouri Valley Football Conference, regardless of what happens here. Every league team now has at least 2 losses. This would be NDSU's first, but still an opportunity to win the outright championship if they can take care of business in the final 2 games of the season. Mengarelli again. Oh boy, almost got away. Tripped up, taken down. Well short of a first down.
But a quick timeout taken by NDSU. It's last in a 4th down play. Kodak Insurance Company replay. Mengarelli looks back off to his left. It's in the running game anyway. It's his time to shine because he played behind center for a little while and some of that type of thing. And Taryn Christian's elusiveness again today has been a major issue for NDSU. He kept plays alive with his feet and then finished them with his arm.
We talked about Mengarelli. I mean, he kind of flies under the radar because of the guys that have played here, as you mentioned before him, but he actually is top 10 all-time in rushing at South Dakota State.
And this program's had some good ones. I mean, Ronick, and obviously center playing in the NFL.
Kyle Manette.
Yep. Sign a sandwich between those 2 guys. points, 2 minutes, no timeouts.
Tall order.
Not a good position to be in. Unless Shepard can make a little magic with this one. Who knows?
Bison, they're coming after it. Hale does get it away. Pretty good punt. Hangs it up there. Shepard calls for the fair catch at the 29 and has it. Bison will start there with 2:06 to go. Taryn Christian, 23 of 33 today for 329 yards, and he made some big throws in critical situations, but that guy, Goddard.
Boy, he was open a bunch. Winicky and Goddard and Christian, as Coach Farley from UNI called the three amigos. All three were spectacular last week against Western on the road. Especially Christian and Goddard have been hooked up again today.
Crowd coming to life here at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium. Stick is going to air it out. Dallas Freeman one-on-one. And it's intercepted again. This time making the pick was Zy Mosley. And that will do it from here in Brookings.
Zy Mosley from the Twin Cities, Minnetonka. His favorite sport in high school, rugby. And there he just made a physical play on the ball downfield. Nodak Insurance Company replay. This will come right at you. Stick looking for the home run ball. We talked about the situation the Bison found themselves in. No time, down by 12. Try to force something downfield. And the corner kept the inside position.
The victory formation. Christian will take a couple of knees, and that should just about do it.
I know that Goddard and Winicky weren't 100% earlier in the year, and I guess the first time they kind of all three played together healthy was 2 weeks ago. But South Dakota State, who got steamrolled a couple of times this year, their defense forced SDSU into a number of third and long situations. And the offense for the Jackrabbits obviously taking advantage of the turnovers.
And for SDSU offensively, probably a disappointing performance, you'd have to say, LT. 5 turnovers today, and that you can't do on the road anywhere and expect to win against anybody.
Yeah, and I know Stick is going to, throw the interceptions and you'll pinpoint the quarterback. But the fact that the Bison were unable to run the ball very well today, that to me was the biggest shocker.
27 carries, 108 yards today for North Dakota State on the ground.
That's for a team averaging 278 yards on the ground. Well short of what is expected.
And that will do it. The Bison can't stop it. The two teams will shake hands and move on. And for the second straight year, South Dakota State has claimed the Dakota Marker Trophy.
Coach Stiegelmeier talked earlier this week about how blessed he felt as a head coach to be a part of North Dakota State and South Dakota State jointly making the move to Division I, jointly becoming key members of the Missouri Valley Football Conference. And Stig, in his 21st year here at South Dakota State, has to be one of his bigger regular season wins. And
it ends a losing streak here in Brookings for the Jacks. The last time SDSU won here back in 2009. Ryan Gellner is standing by now with head coach Chris Kleiman.
Thank you, guys. Chris, it didn't go the way you wanted it today. 5 turnovers on the offense.
Yeah, we didn't play well enough either side of the ball. We're not going to point any fingers. We didn't play well on defense. Had too many penalties on special teams and didn't get it done on offense. So credit South Dakota State, and we'll regroup, and a lot of season left.
All right, well, let's talk to your team. Guys.
All right, thank you, Ryan. And shrug it off, get over it, get ready for next week. South Dakota's coming to town as the Jacks hoist the 75-pound rock called the Dakota marker. We'll be back here to Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium in a moment. They're still celebrating here in Brookings. That's Jacob Onasorgi, one of the seniors on the offensive line. As the Jacks improve to 7-2, North Dakota State dropping their first contest to 8-1. Our Nodak Insurance Company player of the game goes to Darius Shepard. Shepard, 7 receptions, 95 yards, including a 32-yard reception early in the first half, but the offense just never got clicking, LT.
No, it didn't get rolling, and in order for the offense to roll for NDSU, the ground game has to work. The ground game wasn't working that well today, so that means Stick went to the air a little bit more, and Shepard was, as you mentioned, on the receiving end of 7 of those plays. This is a nice one, dumping it off to Shepard, helps pick up the first down, I believe, on that particular play. But, yep, player of the game, Shepard. But the rock, I guess for maybe people are watching that don't know what that is. It's a replica of Quartz Night monuments that distinguished every half a mile the border between North Dakota and South Dakota. So that's the Dakota marker.
All right, we'll step aside, take one more break, be back with your final stats brought to you by the North Dakota Seed Producers, and take a look at our updated standings in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. Back to wrap things up here at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium in Brookings, South Dakota. 33-21 your final score as we take a look at your final stats brought to you by the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers. And LT, the time possession is one thing you had mentioned.
Oh, yeah, that was a stat where we thought, and when you talk to the NDSU coaches, they felt that was one of the bigger ones. We needed, this is coming from a coach's perspective, telling us we need to keep the offense on the field. Well, they didn't. More than 10 minutes more time of possession for South Dakota State, and in my wildest dreams, I did not think that South Dakota State would be able to outrush North Dakota State today. That's what happened. And then total yards, 136 more yards for the Jackrabbits, who came up with big plays as well down the field, got it in the first half, and those turnovers, they'll nail you every time.
5 turnovers for NDSU. Those stats brought to you by the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers. And coming up next week, back to Fargo, 2:30 kickoff, 1:30 pregame. North Dakota State and USD, and the Yotes are reeling a little bit after a loss at UNI today.
They are, but they're another physical team, so the Bison will have to physically bring it again next week as well. And this illustrates what we were talking a little bit about, where North Dakota State, even though it's the first loss of the year, the only L, but the other teams today lost, still keeping NDSU in the premier position when you take a look at the Valley standings.
And interestingly enough, when you look at the rest of the schedule, NDSU hosts South Dakota, SDSU hosts Illinois State. Then they flip-flop. South Dakota State will go to USD, NDSU to Illinois State. So all the top teams right now, the top 4 in the league, all play each other in the final 2 weeks.
Yeah, every game, obviously, as we play this thing out, will just really swing the way you think the playoffs are going to set up. So there's a ton to do for all of those teams in the next 2 weeks. It'll be fun to see where it shakes out.
Now Northern Iowa with a victory kind of gets back in the hunt again as well. Thanks so much for joining us here from Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium on the KVOY KFYR Bison Television Network. For executive producer Jim Wareham, producer Westis Jardins, our director Wayne Robley, and our entire crew here in Brookings. Thanks so much for joining us. And for Ryan Gellner, Lee Timmerman, Alex Egan, and Beth Wool, I'm Brian Shawn saying so long from Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium. We'll see you next Saturday back in Fargo as South Dakota comes to town. Have a great Saturday evening, everybody.